Because this is a hip and hammy class, as you come down onto your back, I'd like you to find cobbler pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, the knees out to the side, nice and wide. So beginning to open up through the inner thighs, the groin, the pelvis, and the outer hip. Adjust your towel underneath the shoulders so that you get that nice thoracic lift, that opening through the chest, through the pecs, through the biceps, if you allow the arms to go nice and wide in a T shape. So just settle in here, get yourself comfortable. A short yoga practice, but nonetheless, a time to center and to ground and to set an intention for something you'd like to accomplish today, right here on your mat, but also something you can take off your mat that will serve not only you today, but everyone that you come in contact with. So with the eyes closed, to center on your breath, a nice normal rhythm of breath. If possible, inhaling through the nose and exhaling a little slower out of the nose. With each breath, maybe you feel the hips become heavy. Maybe you feel that opening through the thighs, the opening through the chest, which allows more air, more prana to come into the upper body. Use that breath to fill the entire lung space, flare out the ribs. And this time when you take that exhale, exhale slow, let everything just melt down. Easy breath in. And a nice slow breath out. We'll blink the eyes open, bring the hands outside of the thighs. So we're going to use the hands to bring the knees together. Roll off to one side, take those props off to the side, and come back down onto your back body. So we're going to stretch out first, nice and long, fingers away from the toes. Feel the whole line of the body here. So if you did core with me yesterday, you might feel as you reach those fingers away from the toes, you might feel all of the muscles that we worked yesterday kind of stretch and open up the front body. And then draw the right knee into the chest. So interlace around the shin first and just draw the knee gently towards that right shoulder. Nice and easy. Maybe take a turn through the ankle. And as you hold that shin in nice and tight, as you rotate through the ankle, maybe you feel the muscles in the shin and the calf engaged to make that movement. Mindful movement. Point and flex. Again, waking up the shin and the calf muscle. And then flare the toes, make space, and then draw them together like a little fist. Just a couple times, bringing movement to the toe joints, the ankle joints. And then release the clasp, send those arms out to a T, big expanse through the collarbone. And we're just gonna begin to circle that right knee out to the side, down towards the bottom of your mat, and back into the chest. That's slow, working that femur bone right into the hip joint and just kind of feeling into that hip joint. Reverse. And then find your resting tree pose here. So snuggle the sole of the right foot into the inner left thigh. Let the right knee just fall out to the right. So if this is a huge opening for you this morning, take that block underneath the right thigh, just to rest the weight of that leg on the block or your towel so that there's no effort here. Bring your hands to your hips, to your hip points. See if you can balance out the hips, the pelvis. And then take a deep breath in through the nose and fully on the exhale, relax the entire body, melting down to the mat. Really opening up this space in the pelvic bowl, that external rotation of that right hip with the knee dropping by gravity and weight, not by force. Feel the opening as it begins to bloom here. Tight at first, but opening up with each breath, every exhale, a little more. Full breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to deepen that just a bit by picking up that right ankle, sliding it on top of that left thigh. That right foot remains nice and flexed with the toes pointing back towards the shins. And again, let that right knee just fall open. It has further to fall here. Again, prop where you need to prop. No wasted effort here. Just a little bit of a deeper stretch now, moving into the outer hip. Full breath in. And on the exhale, bend that left knee, draw that left foot close to the sit bone, coming into this figure 4 position. Again, feel the entire spine. So as you draw that belly in and up, the low back has room to spread out on your mat. Shoulders are soft, your face is soft. Bring the fingertips to the inside of the right thigh and very gently press the thigh away from the body. Pause there when you feel sensation and just take a breath. You're opening up the whole frontal hip, the hip flexor. So just breathe into that. And then release the hand, use the power of the hips in your core, draw that belly in, lift the hip structure so the right shin comes in close to the collarbone. Take the hands, weave them through. You can reach for the outside of the hamstring to draw the legs in closer. Use that right elbow to help prop the right knee away from the body. Soften again the whole upper body. Face is soft, shoulders down and away. Even the belly is soft. Full breath in through the nose. As you release that breath softly, draw the knees in a little closer. Bring your focus to finding some ease, relaxation in the stretch in the right hip. One more breath in. And on the exhale, release the clasp. Left foot comes down to the mat. Keep the ankle glued onto that thigh, that foot flexed. The whole leg structure is going to fall over to the left. So we want to secure the right sole of the foot on something. If it can't make it down to the mat, we never force it. Use your towel or your block to rest that foot down so that you can put some pressure on it. I like to take my left hand and wrap it around my right ankle just to hold my foot there. Soften again, shoulders nice and even and soft on the mat. Mindfully here, use your brain, tell the knee to move till it points up towards the ceiling or maybe a little bit beyond. So here you're not using your fingers, you're using the muscles in the hip to open up here. Take a full breath. And then on your exhale, let that knee fall into the chest. So maybe the hand comes to the outer knee just to bring it in a little bit, getting that stretch through the glute, through the piriformis into the back body. And then slide that hand back down to the ankle. And again, send that knee away from the body. And one more time as you exhale and soften, allow the knee to roll in, allow the hip to roll up. Feel that stretch through the glute. Last time, knee goes back up. Release the ankle. If you're holding the ankle, draw the whole leg structure up. And nice and easy over to the other side. So here, right ankle is on the outside of the left thigh. That foot is flexed. Flex the bottom foot, maybe slide it away from you a little bit, that bottom foot, so that the weight of your ankle and gravity can bring the left knee down a little closer to the mat. Here you might feel a stretch through the left side body, the outer hip, the IT band, the outside of the thigh, all the way down to the knee. You can accent that by sending the left arm overhead, resting on the back of the hand, reaching the fingertips away from you. So now you wake up that space between the hip points, through the ribs, the soft tissue under the arms to the fingers. 2 nice, full, deep breaths here. On the inhalation, bring the knees back up. Pause for a moment to just feel the whole spine supported by your mat. Release the ankle, draw the knees into the chest, and take a nice rock side to side. So massaging the low back, the sacrum, all the way through the middle back, maybe even rolling those hips up towards the shoulders. And then we'll release the right leg long as we hug the left in. So hugging that left knee up towards the left shoulder. Again, let's just wake up through the ankle, rotate the ankle in one direction and the other. And again, feel the muscles that have to engage in the lower leg to make that movement. Point and flex. As you point, toe goes up. As you flex, heel goes out. And then flare the toes, particularly that big toe away from the little toe, and then draw them in. And again, big movement through the toe joint and draw it in. Nice. Arms out to a T. We're going to make that movement now. Circle through the left hip. So send the left knee out to the side, nice and slow, down to point towards the back of the mat and draw it into the chest. Again, that femur bone plugged into the hip socket and just rolling through the hip joint. Reverse that action and take it the opposite way. And then find your resting tree pose here. So block underneath that thigh for support so that you can just let that left leg just fall open. Begin to notice whether the inner thigh is tighter on this side. If the hips want to roll more, the right hip up, see if you can bring the hands to the hip bones and just kind of see if you can level yourself out here. And then just bring the focus to the space you're creating in the pelvic bowl, the hip flexors, the inner thigh, and a gentle stretch to the outside of the hips. Take that full deep breath in. Deepen the stretch by picking up the left ankle, placing it on top of the right thigh, flexing that left foot, toes back to the shin. Again, use the support if you need it so you can let that left knee just fall open. It has further to fall. It's a deeper stretch. Full deep breath in. And then we'll bend into that right knee, plant the right foot near the sit bone. So top foot is flexed. Good. A moment here to bring the fingers inside the inner thigh. Gently press the left inner thigh away from the body. Again, maybe noticing space that you're creating in the front of the hip. Deepen the breath. And on your next inhale, release the hands. Use the power of the hips. Use your core to draw the leg structure in. Interlace around that hamstring, draw it in a little further. Take that elbow and help prop that left knee away. It will intensify the stretch by pressing it away. Re-examine whether you brought tension into the face or the shoulders. Let those shoulders fall down and away, and use your breath here to soften every place you can soften. Focus right on the left hip. Deep breath in. Nice, slow breath out. Gently releasing that clasp, slowly lowering that right foot down to the mat, keeping the leg structure exactly like it is, arms to a T. We're going to drop everything over to the right. And again, secure your sole of the foot on something. So if it doesn't come to the mat, put a block there and bring it to a block. Something that you can press the bottom of the foot on. Again, I like to use my hand around the top of my ankle to hold the foot in place so that now I can use my brain, map the movement, and tell my body to send the knee, use the hip muscle, send the knee towards the ceiling. And on the other side, if you could take it further and it doesn't go further this side, you understand each side is different each and every day. So just go to the point of sensation. Take a full deep breath in. Soften everything you can soften. And then on your next inhale, release the hand. If it's holding that ankle, use the core. Draw everything up, stabilize the spine first, and then roll it over to the left. So again, left ankle rides outside of the right thigh. You can slide that right foot down towards the bottom of your mat to make space for that right knee to come lower to the mat. Again, not pushing, not forcing, just using gravity and weight to deepen the stretch from the hip, through the IT band, down to the knee. If you did it on the other side, extend the right arm overhead, resting on the back of the hand, reach to the fingers. Breathe into the space now from the hip through those ribs, soft tissue under the arms to the fingers. Full deep breath in. Nice, slow exhale as you melt everything down. One more breath in. And on your exhale, bring the arm back to a T. Use your core. Draw the knees back up to center. Pause for a moment just to set the spine on the mat, hips even. Release the ankle. Draw the knees in. We'll take big circles with the knees, knees out, right and left, down towards the bottom of the mat. So you're almost rolling on that tailbone, and then pull them into the chest. So that massage goes right up the spine. Nice and slow here. Legs are wide. They come down and together. So you're rolling on the tip of the spine. And then as you draw them in, you're rolling from the tip of the spine through the body. Good. And reverse. So here you're externally and internally rotating the hips at the same time. Beautiful. Plant the feet right by the sit bone, grab for your block. So hopefully it's right around you, grab your block. As you push into your feet, lift the hips up like a bridge pose and just set your block or your towel, whatever you're using here, right at the sacrum. Oh, I'm sorry, Barb. All right, so as you arrive, it should feel comfortable. Not on the fleshy part of your buns, and it's not on your low back. It's this beautiful shelf that is built in to help us specifically with this pose. Take the legs up to the ceiling, legs up the wall, but no wall. And again, we're just going to bring some movement into the inner thighs and the outer hips. So as you point the feet, draw the belly in. And then flex the feet and open the legs wide V. Point and send it up. Flex and open up. So just take this movement, just this little bit of a flow here, just to coax the leg muscles open. And then when you come back to that wide V, maybe just rest the hands, the weight of the hands on the inner thigh. Press the heels away from you diagonally. Feel the engagement of those inner thigh muscles here. Nice full breath. And then slowly point the toes and bring those toes together. So now we're going to take the feet, one overhead, one towards the bottom of the mat. And we're going to move in a circular fashion. So on your inhale, belly is in. Take the legs out to the side and switch them around. So now one leg's over the head, the other's long. And continue that movement. You might feel this in your quads. Full movement now into both hips. Come back to that wide V. Draw the legs back up. Bend the knees in. Hold the right knee in as you extend the left leg long. See if you can rest that heel on the mat. If not, maybe unroll your blanket just a little bit. So we want to press that heel down and away. Feeling the stretch here right in the psoas, the hip flexor. Hip flexors, if you have to sit all day, they shorten and get tighter. So just relax the body with the breath. Open up that most important muscle, connecting our legs with our torso. And then switch. Draw the left knee in, extend the right leg long. Right heel on the mat, press it down and away. Noticing again, any difference. Sometimes if you're right side dominant or left side dominant, that side gets worked a little bit more, so it needs a little bit more care, or it doesn't get worked enough, and we have to show it a little bit of compassion and not try to move as much. Draw the right knee in, squeeze them both, then set the feet down like you're in your supported bridge and just slide both heels out, flex through the feet, take the arms overhead, just like your full body stretch here. And then slide the knees back to the chest, hug them in, round through that spine. So you're lifting that tailbone up, rounding through the low back. Then gently place the feet back on the mat. Press into the feet to lift the hips up. Slide the block or the towel off to the side. Good. Lower slowly. Bring the soles of the feet together, knees wide. Notice if there's any more room, but at the same time, if you like the support under the thighs, take the support. The beauty of this pose is totally relaxing the weight of the legs to the side, opening up the whole pelvic bowl. Hand to the belly and a hand to the heart. Close down the eyes. Come to your breath. And maybe as we close out this practice this morning, as I looked out early, I saw that big, bright, full moon. Tomorrow is actually full moon at 11:30 Montana time in the morning. The flower moon. Indians named it for obvious reasons because under the light of the moon, our flowers are blooming here. So as we close the practice, feel the light of the moon shining down on you, in you, and around you. And just bask in that light. Namaste. Feel free to stay here, turn off your device. You can take a traditional Shavasana by straightening out your legs and just coming into your own natural breath